Much more up my alley, over on Sky Arts and Now TV, we have Pauline Black, A Two-Tone Story. And here's a clip.
When I look back over my life, it feels full of scenes and stories all knit together. This is how I used to feel in 1979. Black and blue. No one notices a little black girl sat in a room full of white older people. I was never going to be a nice little white girl.
Well, as I always like to say, Hannah, of course, I'm in a ska band. And yes, we do play a song by The Selector, the band that Pauline Black was the lead singer of. Way back when bands like Madness and The Specials and the Body Snatchers were sort of heading up the big ska revival that swept the nation in the late 70s and early 80s. And I did have a little chat with Pauline about this because it's very much the story of her life, which in itself is fascinating, and also the story of the band. So she was adopted by a sort of middle-aged white couple and brought up in Essex. So naturally she felt very much like an outsider. And then she moved to Coventry to study science, and that Coventry was where this sort of movement sprang up, wasn't it? With bands like The Specials, and became the lead singer of The Selector. So she kind of faced sort of, sexism and racism. And the band, they had a few hit singles, but they split up relatively quickly. But she's kept going, and in fact, she's performing at Glastonbury this year. She's still gigging. She still looks amazing. And they were sort of noted for their electrifying live performances where she would just be bopping around the stage for the whole gig. I love The Selector. I love all the ska and two-tone music. But her own story is fascinating as well. It's a really good watch. Whether or not you're a ska fan or a music fan, she's a fascinating character, and she's been through a lot and she's come out fighting. So more power to your elbow, Pauline, and looking forward to seeing you at Glasgow. Obviously, you're far too young for this, Hannah, but did you enjoy it?
I always enjoy documentaries or rockumentaries like this because it doesn't matter really whether you enjoy the music or not, although in this case, I did. It doesn't really matter, though, because it's just really interesting hearing someone's story, particularly Pauline's, which, as you say, is really fascinating. I mean, an idea of her having a slot at Glastonbury this year at 71 is really pretty amazing, isn't it? And I didn't know anything about her. I didn't really know anything about any of it. So, and I don't think it mattered because I do now. And that's that was what was interesting. And just seeing the story about the fact that she was brought up by middle-aged white adoptive parents, and talking about how much of an outsider she felt in Essex, in her Essex childhood, and just feeling that bit different. Although clearly, they did everything they could, and and what have you. But how tough that was, and going back to what we were talking about before, kind of that strength and that want to achieve, and that drive is just so inherently in her, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant, and it's sort of makes you all sit up and take note, really, and think, do you know what, the unachievable is actually achievable.